Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have a video of Mezco 112 Collective Ultraman, which is a figure I probably would have never bought. Mezco has something called Mezco Mondays, where you pose a Mezco figure with a Mezit, which is a little, typically a little miniature of a Gomez, or they have a bunch of different Mezits, and you have a chance to win a 112 collective figure if you post like Instagram, places like that. And I actually won. I finally won after, last couple years, once in a while posting. I won back in January. And this just arrived yesterday. So I had three different choices, and the other figures they offered me, wasn't interested in. And so this one, again, I wouldn't have spent money on this personally. This isn't my thing too much, but I think it's cool. And I will say, as a kid, growing up in the early mid late 80s, I remember Saturday afternoons growing up in Metro Detroit, and they would play like a Godzilla movie, and then they'd play like an Ultraman movie back to back. And so I always equate Ultraman with Godzilla, even though I know they're two separate entities. And I don't believe they've ever crossed paths officially. I don't think. But Ultraman, if you don't know, a Japanese creation. He's a kaiju like Godzilla. They get really big. They're from a different universe, I think. They're called Ultras, and he can get really big. And so what's cool about this figure is it comes with like small breakaway building pieces. So I don't have any Godzilla figures, but if I ever do, whatever, it'd be cool to use those for toy photography. Anyway, getting back to this figure, maybe you're a huge Ultraman, nerd or buff, and you know way more about this than I do. That's great. I'm just going to do my best to kind of highlight the figure, what I think about the construction of it, the look of it, bang for buck. I think this is 105 on Mezco's site. I think it's still available on Mezco's site or other online retailers like Big Bad Toy Store. I believe it's available there. But it's really cool packaging, I will say. You have Ultraman. I'm assuming this is Japanese for Ultraman. I don't know Japanese, but I'm assuming. And then 112 Collective, pose, play, display. And then you get a cool little hologram here, which is Tsuburaya. I believe it's pronounced Tsuburaya Productions. That's like the FX studio in Japan that I think, made Ultraman back in the 60s, I believe Ultraman started in. But it looks like it's a collab with Mezco, so that's kind of cool. An officially licensed product, which is pretty neat. There's some cool artwork of Ultraman, and he does have a light-up head and I think light-up chest. So that's always a cool bonus with Mezco figures. And then this, from my understanding, is a pretty official pose for one of his abilities, I believe. Again, I don't know much about Ultraman. Just from what I remember as a kid watching him, a big dude in a suit, or making him look big, fighting little model Tokyo, buildings and tanks and stuff. And then here's all his stuff he comes with. I'll just go over it real quick because I don't know any of this. VTOL Jet Ultra Slash Effect, which looks pretty neat. Ultra Attack Ray Effects, fits on one arm. Right hand with Spacium Beam, pretty neat looking. And then two interchangeable heads with light up features, which is pretty neat. Then you have your cool looking base with the flight arm. I believe 12 hands. A cool looking cloak cape. It's called Brothers Mantle Cape. Again, I know nothing about this, so I apologize for not having good knowledge. Typically when I buy figures, it's because I like something, I know a lot about it, or somewhat about it. But in this case, not a lot. And then here's the breakaway buildings. 5 different pieces. So you can set them up different ways, make it look like he's breaking through, which I think that's really cool. I love stuff like this. I love stuff like that. And then here's a couple of blogger shots of, poses you can get, the light up features. I do like the way it looks in that mantle cape. That is really cool looking. I'm assuming the cape is wired. We'll find out. Looks like it's pretty cool material. And then you see him fighting. It looks like some type of Godzilla. Again, I'm not big on kaiju. I don't know a whole lot about most of this stuff. But man, that's a cool looking picture too. And then he's striking that pose. So yeah, cool box. On the bottom, it shows you 18 and up. There's your disclaimer. Not a toy for children. Intended for adult collectors only. So once again, there's the packaging. Let's get this thing unboxed and we'll see how it looks. Okay, and every 112 collector figure comes with this paper, product care guidelines, how to take care of the figure, intended for ages 18 and up. And then here's some directions. It shows you the batteries it takes. Battery type is 337. or SR416. It takes 2 of them. So it shows you how to change the face plates. They actually say face plates, not head sculpts. Typically it's a face plate or a head sculpt with Mezco, but in this case it's actually a face plate. Different. And then how to put the batteries in. So sometimes putting batteries in Mezco figures' heads is a hit or miss. So we'll see how easy this is. And then apparently the button is in the back of the figure, which, it's got a full suit, so you can't see the button, which is kind of cool. You just push the back, the headlight lights up, I believe. And then there's how he holds some of these ultra slash effects. He can hold the jet and then the ultra attack ray. So that's it. And then here's the figure, still in packaging. There's some of those effect pieces. There's all the hands. There's the jet. There's that really cool looking 60s looking, ray beam type of thing. And then there's the other faceplate with the laser eyes. And then second package shows those buildings, which they're actually bigger than I thought. This one's cracked. I wonder if it comes apart. That'd be cool if it was broken, like complete, like damage. All these, unless they're just cracked. I think it looks like they come apart though. It'd be cool if they snapped into place and you can unsnap them. Yeah, they're all cracked. And then there's that cool looking base with the artwork, and then that mantle cape, which that looks really good. So let's get this stuff all out of packaging and take a closer look. All right, and here is Ultraman and everything he comes with. Quite a bit. The colors are very vibrant. The reds look really nice. I will say that red base is looking a lot darker in the camera than in person. It's a bit lighter than the cape in person, but still looks really good. The suit's vibrant. So let's just look at some details here. Here's the base, and I love that it has, the Japanese there as well, but really cool drawing there. I like the base a lot. And then the flight arm, there's the batteries for the head for the light up feature. And then here's your 1/12 collective bag in case you don't want to keep the packaging. This is one of the bigger boxes, more of a traditional size box Mezco uses for this one. This figure, I think it says release date of 2022. So it came out, either in 23 or 2022. So it's a couple years old now. So with that said, like the hands are all individually set in the packaging. They don't come in a little box like they do with the new ones. But 12 hands, and then there's these cool effect pieces. Let me zoom in. They look really good. They'll look good behind some light. They're kind of like translucent a little bit, so that's a really cool look. I love that the hand is attached to that one. Mezco's been doing that more and more, attaching hands to effect pieces, which I think is a good idea. And then there's the head with the laser beams, whatever they call them, I forget. And then this thing right here, this curly Q one, I love the look of that thing. And it goes from light to dark. Well, I think actually it's the way the light hits it, with it going from light to dark. But cool nonetheless. And then here's all the hands. They're painted really good in a silver. I flipped over the one hand here on the left to show you kind of like a like a karate or martial arts pose where he has his thumb in like that. So that'd be nice for the look. And then the cape feels really good. The cape is heavy, and it is wired on the front, on the bottom, and the back, the bottom back. I wish Mezco wired all their capes on the bottom. I'm looking at Dr. Doom, my favorite Mezco figure, but he doesn't have a wired bottom part in this cape, and it's hard to make it flow good, like when there was no wire down there. So wire here, wire on the bottom, and then also some wire up around the collar. So really good job with the cape. And then inside it's kind of like a grayish white, like a dirty white. It looks really nice, very vibrant, very sharp. And there's the back. And then the buildings do come apart. So look at that. Every one of them breaks apart like this. And here's the detail. You can just tell it's like concrete. They didn't go into great detail, but it still looks good enough. How cool is that? This may be my favorite piece in the set, is these buildings. Because you can get a lot of playability out of this with other figures too. If you have Godzilla figures or something, you can just add more buildings. I've seen so many toy photographers do miniature stuff like this. They have miniature figures, vehicles, buildings, and they have a Godzilla figure taking over the world, which it looks really good. Looks really good. So that's cool. And then here is Ultraman himself. We'll go over details and articulation a bit more in a second, but just kind of give you guys an overlook of the figure. It's one big suit. there's the boots, it's all part of one suit, as you can see. And the material feels like maybe like a Spider-Man, like the black suit Spider-Man. Even though I don't have that figure, this is the same type of material. Diabolic, that figure, it's kind of the same material. So say what you will, some people have had, trouble with these types of material in the past, like the faux leather. In humid climates, it tends to eventually crack and degrade over time. I've never had a problem. I've been collecting Mezco since 2018, and I've not had a problem yet. I mean, I live in a semi-humid climate, but yeah, I don't know. I've never had any problems. So I don't overly pose my figures. I pose them usually, put them on my detolf, and then I'll repose from time to time. But I've had no problem personally. So yeah, here's what the suit looks like, and then back here you can see they actually have and maybe this is true to the character, the in real life. I don't know if it was like a zip up in the back, probably from to get in like a onesie. But they have this. It's not like sewn with it's sewn, but not like typically Mezco does. This actually has some material hanging out, which I would imagine is accurate. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to line up or not, but as you can see, mine does not line up to the center. Maybe for some that might bother them. If I was big into this and it's not right, I would be upset. But again, I got this figure for free, so I'm grateful to Mezco. They did that, and they picked me for that week to win. So these eyes are kind of translucent, look really good. The silver paint is done really well. Looks like I have a little bit of a mark on that eye right there. I don't know if I can come off or not, but we'll mess with this head. I think this pops off, and then the other head down there, just plugs in, I think. But yeah, it looks pretty good. This is not light. This is not light up. I don't think. I think it's just the eyes. But as you can see, some detail in the suit. It's not just leather. It's got like some pattern to it. I'm kind of zoomed in ×2 here, showing you guys the figure in really close detail, closer than you'll need to see it. It does look like I have a cut here. Look at this. Looks like a scratch. It is. It's a scratch. You can't really see it too bad from far away, but oh man, I can see it. Yeah, that stinks, man. Look at that right there. So there's case in point in this material, what could happen to it. Somehow it got cut, maybe in the factory. In my opinion, that shouldn't be able to pass QC, not for $105. So I know this figure is free from Mezco, but I may have to send them a message. Because that's where this suit will rip over time. You can't get a lot of mobility in this area because the chest here is one piece, but still, like, if it's going to start ripping or tearing, that's where it's going to be, probably. So yeah, out of box, that's kind of a bummer. Again, a free figure, I can't complain too much, but I'm just telling you guys, if you guys buy this, if you spend $105 in this figure, you shouldn't expect to get something like that. And then the boots, you can see the suit's all one. This is hard plastic. Somehow it's like, oh, I see. It is a separate piece right here. It's a plastic piece right there. Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. It's like it's part of the suit, but it's not. It's hard to tell. It's like they sealed it. This is definitely different from Mezco. Anyway, let's move all this stuff out of the way and go over articulation real quick. Okay, articulation. So I don't think this head actually pops off. There's a ball joint, I think, but it's like it's a part of the material of the suit goes underneath, and I think it's all connected. So the head doesn't actually pop off, but it can look down a little bit, not a whole lot. He can look up a little bit, not a whole lot. He can rock pretty good side to side, and then he can turn his head pretty good. But you can see the suit stretching. So the suit material is actually connected to this head sculpt, which is a different deal from Mezco. They don't typically do that. A different design here for sure. And then the arms go up almost 90, not quite. And then there's a bicep swivel, and then double jointed elbows, and then ball hinge wrist pegs, which is normal for Mezco there. And then there is an upper torso separate ball joint, but you get a little bit out of it, up and down. It twists just a little bit, and then the waist is a ball joint. So you get some good old bend here. And then he goes forward really good. Look at that. Good ab crunch. And then he goes back really good. So even though it's a full suit, it's not restrictive. It has a lot of give. In fact, if I pull I can pull the arm back. Look at that. And you can see it pulling at the fabric right there, but I'm not really too worried about it. And then going forward, you can go almost all the way. You see this fabric there, though, being pulled. So you can see the fabric. I would not leave him in a pose like this, personally. Maybe for a quick photo for toy photography, like he's flying, but I wouldn't leave him in a pose like that for fear this might eventually crack, you know, whatever, get stuck with creases. The material does feel nice, but again, it's that faux leather, and we've talked about what can happen. And then the legs kick forward, not quite 90, not quite 90. And then there's a double knee joint, goes back about that far, a little over 90. And then the foot, even though it's like the fabric goes into it, it's on a ball hinge, and it does, or ball peg, it does go up good. It actually rocks really good. For a Mezco figure, it's got good rocker, which Mezco's ankle rockers hit or miss. I don't know why that is. So not bad articulation considering he's in a full, onesie jumpsuit, faux leather thing. I'm going to pause this now and mess with the head. I don't want to do it live on camera. I'm going to figure it out and then show you guys how the face sculpts work. Okay, so this is super simple. Again, a different thing for Mezco because usually you have different head sculpts, but this face plate just pulls right off. It pulls off just like so. There's 3 different pegs there that slide in. I did put the batteries in just so you guys can see. Let me zoom in. As usual, I put the batteries in backwards the first time. I always do that. It's like a 50-50 shot. It's hard to tell, but that's how the batteries need to go in. I put them in from the side. I put them in from the side over here on each side. And I just pushed them in with my finger, and I use this little screwdriver to kind of get them centered on both sides. And then you just push his back. You push, let me zoom back a little bit. You push his back like right here. You can hear a button. And then it lights it up. There's 2 lights down there. Oh, his chest does light up. Look at that. Interesting. Let's put the first face plate back on and then see how it looks. Okay, so let's light this bad boy up. Turn some lights off. I got a lot of lights on, so it's gonna be hard to tell. Boy, it looks pretty neat. So in the camera, the eyes look a lot more blue than they are in real life. In real life, they're more LED. A little bit of yellow in the front corner. But in the camera, they're picking up to be almost the same color as the chest. I actually like the way it looks in the camera better than in real life. Yeah, in real life, it's just like a white LED with some yellow frosted on the corners there. So I don't know. I can't remember. I thought Ultraman's eyes were yellow, but maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. It's been so long. But pretty cool. This is some of the best I've seen for light up features. Really simple to do. Let's try the other one with the eyes and see, if how far the light goes through that beam. Probably not very far. It never usually does. So yeah, it's not really lighting the beam up very good, as you can see here. It doesn't go out all the way. My beams are kind of bent a little bit. They're not straight, but I guess that's fine. Yeah, it's not really traveling down that. Yeah, not maybe a tad through the yellow, just a little bit, maybe about an inch or so, half inch. But still cool if they included this. It looks cool. Little effect pieces on the end. They don't come out. They're attached on the end here. They're attached. But pretty cool look. All right, let's go ahead and try some of these accessories on real quick. All right, so here's Ultraman with that first effect piece. Pretty crazy looking. It's like a long spring. It is kind of translucent, and it's darker blue at the front. I might actually have it on backwards. I'm not sure. Maybe the darker blue should be coming from his arm, like he's harnessing the power and shooting it out. And as it goes out, it kind of dissipates and goes a little more clear. But yeah, pretty cool look. Kind of a semi-dynamic pose here a little bit. His ankle is rocked. His back left ankle is rocked. So I like that they give you different effect pieces. You can kind of change up the look. Let's try another one. Okay, so once again, Mezco's blogger shots lie, which they do quite often. This is a shot they kind of have, kind of like this, and he's holding this ring with both hands. But the problem is he doesn't have any butterfly joints. So when you don't hold it, that's about as far close as his hands go together without holding it. So I love Mezco, but I hate how, and it's not just Mezco, other companies do it. Don't sell me a Big Mac that looks perfect in an ad, and when I get there, it looks horrible. It's the same thing. Don't be taking blogger shots of something the figure can't do. It just stop. All the companies stop. Stop doing that. If he can't do it, that's fine. Like, don't make him do it. I'm okay with that. But don't show me something that he can't do. So yeah, anyway, I guess like this, he can maybe hold the ring, maybe? Let me see if I can do something with that. Okay. Okay, this is way cooler than the picture they had there on their website. This feels like Tron Deadly Discs all of a sudden. Like he's chucking a light disc. Of course, this came out before Tron, right? But that's a cool look right there. I kind of like that. Like he's getting back ready to chuck this effect piece. I forget what they call it. Again, I'm not an Ultraman geek, so I don't know all this stuff. But I'm just someone who's putting together a figure with some effect pieces and seeing what it looks like. So that's kind of cool. I like it. Let's go in a little closer for some detail here. I got the eyes and the chest lit up right now. It's kind of hard to tell with all the lights on. Let's turn some of these lights off and just see. Yeah, the blue of that effect piece changes color when the lights go off too. I have some lights up behind me, which is what's picking that up. Some LEDs in my DTOF. That's a cool look. I like it. Really neat. Okay, and here's what of its official pose is. I could actually replicate this one from the blogger shot. It took me a minute to get his left arm over enough, but that's pretty much what the blogger shot looks like on the website there for this figure on the back of the box. Yeah, again, I don't really know what this is all about. He's using some type of power effect, but you can see that the effect piece is darker blue coming out of his hand, and it gets lighter as it dissipates. But really cool. Let me zoom in. This is a cool look too. I like this. That effect piece is really neat. It's got some nice detail on the effect piece there too. Like lights, lines of light going, projecting. And again, that chest and lights are still on. I love how easy it is to light this figure up. You just push the button in the back. You can't see the button. You don't got to take the head off to turn it on at the head. You push it in the back and it turns on both. Really neat. I think that's good good designing by Mezco for the light up head and chest. All right, here's Ultraman holding the VTOL jet. How you pronounce it? VTOL. I'm not sure what you call it. VTOL. I'm not sure, but he's holding the jet. It's another blogger pick. I remember reading about the jet, and I thought it was something they used to go into the field, but I might be wrong. Anyway, you got a jet there that's kind of in scale to Ultraman being blown up, big size. I think about Ant-Man. It's like Ant-Man. He gets that giant size. He can blow himself up. But let's zoom in and look at this jet for a minute. Jet's painted really good. Some nice paint apps. Red, white, yellow, silvers. Yeah, it looks really good. Looks like there's some missiles on the end of the wings there. Yeah. The cool thing about this figure is the scale. Getting this mini stuff, like the mini buildings, and then this jet kind of really makes him look massive, which is what it's all about. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's get on with the buildings. All right, so this is what I want to see. I think it's pretty cool. I got him holding the building like he's ripped one in half, and the buildings below him are all kind of crushed, falling apart. I don't think he's a bad guy. I can't remember. I don't think he destroyed buildings, but I mean, why not, right? How cool does that look? Holding that building in his hand like he's just gonna chuck it at Godzilla or someone or something. Yeah, the scale of this, when you get the billions involved, make it look really cool. It makes him look huge. Yeah, very cool. Let's go ahead and try the cape. All right, here's Ultraman with his cloak or cape. It's really bright red. But the wire in it's great. It's a great wired cape. Again, it's got wire in the front, around the collar, on the bottom, so you can really get it wind blowing. It's like sewn with two different materials, two different pieces, the red and the whitish gray on the inside. So it really looks like it has some heft to it. Yeah, it looks really good. I'll zoom in a little bit. There's the clasp. The wire around the collar, you have to really play with it. I haven't messed with it too much, but I can make it look a lot better, I think. It just, there's a lot of wire in there, and the collar was kind of difficult to play with. Other than that, the rest of it looks really good. I don't remember Ultraman wearing a cape in the show, but again, my memories are from like the 80s, like when I was a kid, real little. I just have few memories in my head, and this cape isn't one of them, but I think it looks really cool with the cape on. I will say though, typically I prefer capes on characters or cloaks. They look cool. I think he looks better without it, honestly. You know, with the buildings, or with his effects, I think it would look really cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, at the end of the day, do I think this figure is worth it? I think if you're a huge Ultraman fan, Godzilla fan, Kaiju fan, absolutely. I think it's pretty good quality, although I have a couple of QC issues, as you saw, with that scratch, which I'll reach out to Mezco about. For me, it's not. I mean, I got it for free, so I'll take it. Absolutely. I'll review it, share my thoughts with you guys. But again, I'm not a huge Ultraman person, Kaiju person. But for a free Mezco figure, 112 Collective, which I love, Mezco figures for the most part, I love that I have it. You know, he comes with a cloak cape that is wired, and you can get it blown in the wind like you see here. You know, I've got it blown in the wind, it's wired back. Looks really good. He has these cool effect pieces. The light up function's really good for this figure. As I said, sometimes in Mezco, light up functions are hit or miss. This one to me is a hit. And those batteries are small, so they're not going to last very long, I don't think, but they're easy to change out. It's one button that does the chest and the eyes. Super simple. Like it a lot. And then these effect pieces, the buildings, really give him a sense of height. Like he really is a huge figure, which is what you're going for with a Kaiju, right? So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you into Ultraman? Do you like this type of stuff? You know, what do you think of this Mezco figure? Do you have it? Were you thinking of getting it? Let me know your thoughts, you know, and then if you want, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love commenting, responding to comments, talking about this stuff. So let me know. But yeah, this has been Mezco Toyz 1/12 Collective Ultraman.